Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and I was on my way to the gym, but I was like, nah, baby, we got to talk about this. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a fair warning. This video is a spoiler. So spoiler alert, okay? Spoiler alert. If you don't want to be spoiled, turn on the mute button and just watch. How about that? All right, so let's get into it. Now, we finally have, I'm going to say Kandi and Tamika confronting that good Rocky. Cause Tiny just be kind of sitting there. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, Tiny. You chill, you cool. You just want, can we all just get along? Okay. Even though you got some pieces of paper in your hand that say this man been getting kickbacks allegedly. How about that? All right, so let's get into it. Nothing to it but to do it. So let's talk about it. So the girls, this episode that we're gonna see on Sunday continues with the ladies from Xscape, Kandi, Tamika, and Tiny confronting Latocha about this notion or this allegation from a promoter that Rocky has been getting kickbacks in order to get Xscape on certain, I would say, tour dates, spot dates, and he was allegedly getting what kickbacks of 10,000 or 20,000. Y'all remember the things. So we saw the text messages in last week's episode. And so now it's time for Latocha to call Rocky. So she calls Rocky, right? She calls him, and I want to bring up some of the screenshots of some of the things that Rocky got to say, okay? So Candy's asking, like, so we got these well, of course, Tasha, like, well, I'm looking at these pieces of paper. Girl, you know what these pieces of paper are. They text exchanges. Go ahead and tell them the truth. You see text exchanges between him and somebody else that either look familiar to you or they don't, okay? Because they would look familiar if it is true that you are okay with him getting the kickbacks, because the text message is alleged that you and Rocky were okay with this. Now, Rocky is telling Kandi after she asked him about, these text messages, he says, me and him got the same text messages on our phones. Okay. So note that. All right. If him and the man got the same text messages on their phone, then, okay. So he says, and Candy's like, well, yeah, of course you would. And Rocky's like, right. So I can show y'all my phone and you'll see the same thing, whatever we text. And then he goes on to say, and there ain't ish to do with Xscape, never. So him and this promoter that Xscape has likely worked with before ain't got no text messages about Xscape. But Rocky is Latocha's manager. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to believe that he may have some correspondence with the man about something to do with Xscape, arrival times, the payments and this, that, and the third, depending on how who was managing whom and how it was working out. And considering that Rocky works in the business, it wouldn't be too far beyond the realm of possibility that he would have some type of message about Xscape in there, even if it won't monetary, right? So it's hard for me to believe that ain't nothing in that text exchange about y'all. And honestly, I would be like, send me your screenshots, sir. Send them over. Send over your screenshots of the text so I can see what match up and what don't. So I can see if it look like something been deleted, if something don't, okay? All right. So they go into that, and and so Tamika's like, she feel like her sister been brainwashed. Quiet as it's kept. She does. She feels like, ever since she got with Rocky, she feels like Latocha does whatever that man tell her to do. And we did see evidence of the production tried to show us evidence of that when he was coming into the confessional and whispering sweet nothings into her ear. So that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like on the surface. I don't know what go on in their marriage, but that's what it looked like. So then, you know, he tells Latocha, you know, because she's like, I don't know what's going on with the, you know, because Tasha, she just, it's like she gets confronted with stuff and she get to go and hate, like it's something short circuits. And she's like, what, the papers. Now, I don't know nothing about this. And so then we see
kickbacks are for people who have to hustle. I don't have to hustle. I do.
Now, this is Rocky. This is Rocky and Tasha in a confessional. I want you to listen. I want you to listen with your ears. You got to listen, and you got to listen good. Okay?
The hustle. I don't have to hustle. I do the deals.
Now, I want you to go back. I'm going to go back. I want you to hear it.
Kickbacks are for people who have to hustle. I don't have to hustle. I do the deals.
Kickbacks are for people who have to hustle. I do the deals. Okay? So pay attention to that. Pay attention, please. Okay? Pay attention to it. I want you guys to listen and listen good. Now, listen and listen good.
And then let me chime in and say this.
This is Latocha speaking. I want you to listen to this.
There have been times when a lot of us have brought shows to the table and have gotten a percentage.
Okay, so Latocha is telling us that there have been times when a lot of us, does she mean a lot of us as artists in general? Does she mean a lot of us in Xscape? Because I'm curious to know, and I need for Kandi or Tamika or Tiny, because Tiny got a Pretty Hustle podcast. Tamika got a whole YouTube page. Kandi got to speak on it. And so I need for y'all to tell me, is this a common occurrence that y'all, when y'all bring deals to the table, that y'all could get a kickback from it? And given that in the last episode, Tiny says, well, when it's money involved, I just think that everything should be put on the table. When you do get a kickback, do you let the other group members know that you're getting a kickback? Okay, that's what I want to know. So just listen again, because this is Latocha out Latocha's mouth.
Shows to the table.
Let me go back.
A lot of us have brought shows to the table and have gotten a percentage because we feel like you brought it to the table. We've never had any problems with that.
So that's important to note. That's important to note. That's important to note. And listen, it could, if it's okay between, if that's the agreement that they have, that's the agreement that they have. Ain't nothing wrong with that if they got that agreement and everybody understands it. Everybody then signed off on the paperwork on it. Everybody knows it's above board and whatnot and woo-de-woo. If that's what y'all group does, that's what y'all group does.
I'm saying.
This is Rocky talking. Now he's saying what he's saying. Now, this is important.
Is I don't have to get kickbacks.
Look, got you.
I don't get.
And so he's like, I don't have to get kickbacks. And Latocha's like, I got you, baby. I got you. And I'm wondering if he's thinking to himself, was she supposed to admit that? That was something I wanted to know. Because I want to know what the other ladies got to say about that.
I don't have to get kickbacks.
Look at you.
I don't get kickbacks.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody paying me, they owe me.
If somebody paying me, they owe me. Okay. So what is he telling us here? Is he telling us that if somebody is paying him, that's semantics. Let's break it down because I'm Sherlock Homeboy right now. I'm Sherlock Homeboy, so I'm just trying to understand what he's saying. So I want to break that down. If he's saying I don't get kickbacks if somebody's paying me, it's because they owe me. Is it because they owe you because you helped arrange the concert with the Xscape ladies? Because if you might not call it a kickback, you may be calling it they owe you. So it boils down to semantics. Is that the case? I'm asking the questions, right? Because you got to ask the questions. You got to break down the semantics of it all because the words are important when people use wordplay. So you just got to understand the terminology that's being used, okay? He's saying he don't need a kickback. He's saying the person owes them if he's getting coins, okay?
That means I did the deal.
Is that a confession or no? I don't understand. This is confusing me. So he's saying if somebody pays me, it's because they owed me. That means that I did the deal. So if this promoter if this is correct, if this promoter paid you, that is because they owed you, right? If they owed you, what did they owe you for? Services rendered. If services rendered getting Xscape on the bill, then in that case, based on the terms of the agreement, then if you got Xscape on the bill, then the promoter would technically owe you. That would be the only way that you did the deal. No? Or am I incorrect? I am asking questions about the terminology being used. Not an accusation, but I'm asking the questions because these words are very important.
So this ain't stealing.
So he's saying, let's listen one more time. I need y'all to hear it one more time.
They owe me. If somebody paying me, they owe me. That means I did the deal. So this ain't stealing.
So for him, if somebody pay him, that means they owe him. They owe him for services rendered. Is the service rendered getting Xscape to do the deal? If that's the terminology, then the service is rendered, the service was rendered, then that means they owed him, okay? So if they owed him, then that means that if the deal happened, if everything went through, if Xscape performed and everything went as per the case, that means that he did the deal. Is that what's happening here? I just want to know. I had to break that down for y'all. At the end of the scene, Latocha basically gets up and says, because Tiny's like, well, we'll get through this show in Ontario, because Tiny about that trying to get that coin, baby. Tiny's like, I ain't lost sight of the goal, baby. I got to go sing, okay? I'm going to make this extra cash so I can buy me another house, that I can film in and paint it black or paint it blue, okay? So, Tiny's like, let me go get me another tricycle with this play money over here. Let me do a little shopping for Zanique over here with this money. Zanique, we're gonna make you a whole new record with this one concert that I'm about to do for you. Zanique, what we gonna do with this money? Eris, what you need, baby? Eris, we gonna make you a superstar too. Come on now, Eris. Come on now. And let's shoot a little over to Miss Diane too because we love her. All right. Tiny's like, let me get this coin, and Latocha's like, I'm over it. It is what it is, or whatever. And I'm like, it ain't what it ain't. Okay, it ain't what it ain't. No, ma'am, we are not gonna leave this room until we figure this thing out. So once again, they let her get up and leave, and she get outside calling Rocky, calling whoever, talking about it. She might have been calling her mama. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on with this. So I want y'all to listen. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think about this. Because baby, I'm Sherlock Homeboy, and I'm back on the case. And I feel like I thought we was done, but apparently we are not. So there is more riddles for us to solve. Now, I want to talk about, I know, listen, I thought you would think this was the only thing I had to talk about in this video, but it's not, okay? Claudia Jordan. And Claudia Jordan explains her issues with Jennifer Williams. This is coming to us from our friends over at the Jasmine brand via the Undressing Room podcast. I'm assuming this is Laurel's podcast that she has. Laurel, shout out to Laurel. She's doing the doggone thing. She's here, there, and everywhere. Okay. Remember we used to see her back on Love and Hip Hop New York? Y'all remember those days? That's how I mean, I didn't and I think at that point in time she was like a rapper or something like that, right? Anyway, she's been in the news quite a bit lately. If you guys did not know, if you've been hiding under a rock with this whole Michael B. Jordan thing. But anyway, we're here to talk about Claudia Jordan. So remember the other day we talked about, Claudia snapping on Jennifer Williams about the way Jennifer acted about being, does she look like a deluxe room B to Jackie Christie during the episode of Basketball Wives? And Claudia has some commentary about it. Jennifer has some more commentary, and then Claudia had another clapback. One of the things that Jennifer called her in that clapback was an HOE. All right. So Claudia is basically explaining to Laurel the issues, and the issues stem back from their time together on the show, The Next 15. Do you guys recall that? They was on the show with, it was produced by Carlos King. It was on TV One. Really, actually a good show. This was a show that was ahead of its time, to be quite honest with you. Tiffany Pollard, Laura Govan, Karamo, Jennifer Williams, Benzino, and Claudia Jordan. The premise was that they were supposed to be trying to put together a talk show. These are former reality TV stars. They're putting together a talk show. A lot of the onus seemed to fall on Claudia to try to get everything together and make all of these things happen and make it work. Seems like she's kind of done that on her own over at Fox Soul. So kudos to Claudia Jordan. But anyway, so on this show, you guys may recall, and Claudia had to remind us that apparently at the time or around sometime around that time, Jennifer Williams was dating someone that Claudia Jordan used to be married to. So Claudia alleges that Jennifer had brought out Claudia Jordan's annulment papers, called her all types of HOEs and all kinds of things like that. And she had sat Jennifer Williams down and told her why claims of her being an HOE were so bothersome was because she had an intimate assault when she was younger, right? And so that is something that bothered her. So when people call her out her name like that, it really does something to, it's triggering for her. So, this is why they have issues. And ever since then, it has been always this thing between Jennifer and Claudia. And for Claudia, she was like, I don't know why, because before that, she says that she had run into, before the show, she had run into Jennifer Williams with Angela Yee, all the girls, Angela Yee, Roxy, and some other people down to the Miami, down at the Clevelander. It all goes down at the Clevelander. When I was in Miami, I stay away from the Clevelander because it's always jam packed over there, and it's always looking like it's a bunch of activity going on that I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm a little bougie, but anyway. So anyway, they was over there at the Clevelander hanging out, at the spot, the hot spot, iFox. I dropped at the bar, y'all. And so, why is Foxy Brown in my head right now? Anyway, so Claudia comes over, says hi to the girls, but apparently she gives Jennifer a dry high. Baby, that dry high will get you in trouble every single time, won't it? A dry high will take you from not knowing each other to the worst of enemies. We done seen the dry high. Listen, two things will take people in this reality world from friends or from not knowing each other to mortal enemies. Number one is a dry high, and number two is an ex. And in this situation, these ladies got both of these things going on. A dry high and an ex of Claudia's that was dating Jennifer Williams. Jennifer allegedly got the annulment papers, brought them out to the show. Apparently wasn't really featured on the show like that. Then now we are where we are at now. So, of course, not to be outdone now that Claudia has told her side of the story, okay, Jennifer Williams steps into the chat. She says, why is this lady, because at the end of the thing, Claudia goes in on Jennifer and is like, listen, I don't need to, do things with guys, I have, because basically she's like, I own my home, I don't rent my clothes, and I could have helped her, and I got shows and stuff like that, and I could have helped her, if she had been cool like that, and we didn't have beef before, but now we do. So Jennifer Williams is like, why is this lady still talking about me? I'm so tired of it at this point. I don't like you. You don't like me. Move the F on. I don't address you. Nothing is rented over here. Not my clothes, house, rose, or marriage. Oh, and stay tuned for my show on VH1 under Jennifer Williams Productions. Because, I believe Jennifer Williams has been, I've known she's had a production company for a long time. And if you follow her on the socials or any of her interviews, you will know that Jennifer has had some type of production coming for a while, and a lot of it, I think, is surrounding that incident with that guy that allegedly stole her car. The guy that she was dating. She don't have the best of luck with dating. I think she might want to go to like a matchmaker, and if she got all this coin, maybe a millionaire matchmaker might be the thing for her. You know what I'm saying, Jennifer? I don't know, but maybe this man that she's with currently is the one, because it won't Jelani. So anyway. Jen then also, well, first I do want to say Claudia was asked about it on this podcast, and Claudia also says she comments on stuff on social media, and Claudia, quite frankly, I'm glad you do because we find ourselves here. But anyway, Jennifer says it's not that serious. I really don't care to speak on someone I don't like, hence I don't comment on posts about people that don't pertain to me. Okay, so listen. We will see where this whole situation goes and where it pans out to. But let me tell y'all something. If you ain't learned nothing else from me today, number one, please, 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 never in your life, if you don't know somebody, if you barely know them, if you do not like them, do not give them a dry high. If anything, please, Lord, have mercy, give them a warm embrace. So I'm Richie Skye, the author and publisher of The Wickedest Wives, Desiree's Desire, which is book 1 in a series. This book is about redemption. It's the story of a disgraced journalist who has lost everything. And now she has to rebuild her life brick by brick. And what better way to do that than to join a reality TV show? Why not? Now, not only are we talking reality TV, so there's going to be scandal, there's going to be a little bit of deception, backstabbing, a little romance, and why not throw in a sprinkle of murder to really round out the excitement? So I really want you guys to dive headfirst into these books. Desiree's Desire is just the first of many to come. So I'm super excited for you guys to read this, and I want to know exactly what you think. So be sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.